Hi everyone, it's Lynn Dion here from Pink Whisper Designs. Today I'm really excited to show you another brand new set from Art Impressions from the Hats Off collection. And this one is called Miss Hat. And we're going to be making a fun shaker card today. So let's go ahead and get started. So I've gone ahead and stamped out all the images from this set. And this again is called the Miss Hat set. And you get the little lady here and all these little hats. You get the birthday cake hat, which we're going to be using today, and some really cute sentiments that really coordinate well with all of these hats. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to grab that little lady and the birthday cake hat as well. And let's do some coloring with the Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens. And I'm going to start off with that dark pink. I'm using the blender pen to do my blending, and I'm just going to add some shadowing here and there and just blend that in. And if you get too much ink on your blender pen, you can just scribble it off onto your scrap paper until it goes clear, and then you can go ahead and change colors. And you also can remove ink as well, and you'll see me doing that quite a few times with this pink. This dark pink is a very vibrant color. So it goes on just a little tiny bit, goes a long way. So I'm going to blend in towards the center of her shirt and kind of keep that middle section the lightest there. So again, this is part of the brand new Hats Off series, and there was Mr. Hat and Mrs. Hat and Miss Hat. And they all have several hats that go with the collection and several sentiments as well as some coordinating items. So they're really fun, and I've done videos. I'll be doing a video on Mrs. Hat, and I've already done the video on Mr. Hat, which I will link for you below as well. So you can take a look at that if you get a chance. And again, I'm just going to continue blending this out. And here you can see me removing ink. I'm just scribbling it onto my scrap paper. Just grabbing some of that ink and then scribbling it onto the scrap paper just to lighten this middle section up a little bit here. And then for the face, I'm going to use Flesh Color and Pink Haze. I'll put a little bit of the pink on the cheeks and then that flesh color around the edges and just pull in towards the center there. And here I'm going to grab a little bit of that same pink color and put a little bit on her lips. And then I'll just pull that in towards the center. Now I'll just finish up her hands. And then I'm going to take the yellow and just add a little bit of that yellow color to her hair, just kind of pulling up towards the top. But this mostly won't show, so don't worry about this too much here. Once we put the hat on her, very little is going to show. I'll add a little bit more of that pink color to her earring, and then I'll finish with the flesh color on her legs. And then I'll take that pink haze and do her shoes. That's the same pink we used on her cheeks. And then I did want to keep her pants white, so I'm just going to add a little shadow with the light gray. Now with my Nuvo Aqua Shimmer Glitter Gloss pen, I'm just going to add some sparkle here. So you do want to shake this really well. And then I'm just going to add some sparkle to her top. Now you do want to be careful because you've already done all of your blending, and this is a water-based pen, and we used water-based markers to color this in. So you want to kind of gently do that. You don't want to move your ink around too much. And then I'll set that aside and work on the little birthday cake hat. So I'm going back to that dark pink, and I'm just going to pull that put it at the bottom of the candles and then just pull that up towards the tops. Just keeping the tops of the candles the lightest. And again, I've got a lot of ink there. That color again is very, very vibrant. So I'm just going to scribble off some of that color just to create a little highlight there. Now going back to the yellow, I'll add a little bit of that to the flames and a little bit of that orange as well. And then with the peach pink, I'll do this little bow on the cake. And I'm going to use that Nuvo glitter gloss pen to do my blending. So because again these are both water-based inks, I can use this to blend as well, and that'll just add sparkle at the same time. Now I'll add some emerald green to these little leaves. And then I'll go back to the yellow and orange for the flowers. I'll grab that pink haze again to do the frosting on the cake. I'll use that flesh color again to do the cake portion. And then I'll use the turquoise green to fill in this area and do this other bow as well. Then back to the pink haze for the bottom of the hat. And I'm going to add a little gray, the light gray, just to give a little shadow here on the inside of the hat and in a few other areas. And just filling in here with that yellow and some more of the turquoise green. I'll just add a little sparkle to the flames on the candles and on this bow. So now we're all set. All the coloring's done, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the coordinating dies, tape those down with a little bit of purple tape, and I'll run those through my Spellbinders Platinum 6 die cutting machine. And what's really fun, you'll see on the hat, it cuts the little slit for the hat as well. And you can see how cute she looks. So I'll go ahead and glue this hat on, and I'm using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back here and then on the front as well, just so it stays nicely attached. And I'll just set that aside to dry. Now with this set here, I've got all these beautiful birthday cakes and candles. We're going to use that little cupcake. And we're going to use the coordinating die as well. And this set is the birthday cake set, number 5255. So I'm going to use my VersaFine Onyx Black ink again to stamp on some Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock, which is the cardstock I used to do all of my coloring today. And I will list all of these products down below as well. So I'm just going to quickly color in this little cupcake here using the colors that we used before. And once that's all set, I'll attach the coordinating die, again with a little bit of purple tape, and run that through my Sizzix Sidekick machine. Now I'm going to take the largest die from the rectangle A2 double stitch dies, and I'm also using the sparkle cardstock from Lawn Fawn. This is the spring collection, and I'm going to be using this yellow color. And I'm also going to grab a piece of vellum paper as well. So I'll go ahead and run those two panels through my die cutting machine. So now on one of those panels, on the white panel, I've stamped my sentiment. Another year older, you wear it well, down at the bottom right-hand corner of that panel. I'm going to grab my second smallest oval die from the oval double stitch die set. And I want this sparkle cardstock with that sentiment to show through so we can create our shaker card. So I'm going to show you a little trick that I use. We've already die cut that piece of vellum paper. So I'm going to lay that right over this white cardstock and right over that sentiment. And now I can determine where that oval die needs to be. So I can tape this down or just hold it with my fingers here. And then I'm going to position this oval die right where I want it to be. So I'll go ahead and I want to slide it over towards the left a little bit. So I'm not actually centering it. I'm just kind of positioning off to the left slightly. And I'm going to tape that down with plenty of purple tape so it doesn't move. And then I can grab that vellum. Now I know exactly where that oval is going to die cut on this yellow sparkle cardstock. So I can line these two up. I want to make sure they're lined up really well, and then I can run that through my die cutting machine. And that's going to cut through the vellum, but it'll also cut through our sparkle cardstock as well. So I can just get rid of that vellum. We don't need that now. We just needed it to make sure we lined up that oval die properly. And now you can see that these two panels line up perfectly. Now, of course, there are other ways to do this, so I just wanted to quickly show you this little trick that I use. Next, we'll take some clear acetate from the Lawn Fawn collection, and I'm just going to attach this right behind this oval. So I'll use some of my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and I'm going to place it right around that edge there. I just want to make sure it goes right up to the edge, just so none of our little shaker parts sneak out. And I'll press that down with my finger, just to make sure I have plenty of it right around the edges there. So we'll go ahead and let that dry. So once that's dry, we can go ahead and add some foam tape here. So we're going to create the little shaker element here. So I'm using my Scotch foam mounting tape, and I'm going to double this up. We want to leave enough room for our little elements to shake around. So I'm doubling up the foam tape, and I'm going to use a longer piece here to go right around that oval. So what I'll do is double this, and then we're going to cut this in half. And now I'll remove the backing from the tape on both sides. That'll just make it easy to move this right around this oval. So we can just kind of position it right along the edge of that oval. And I'm going to go all the way around. And you do want to make sure that you butt these two ends right up against each other, because you don't want any of your little shaker parts to slip out of there. So you want to make sure that it's a nice tight fit here at the end. So I'm just going to play around with that a little bit here just to make sure that fits nice and tight. And then I'll go ahead and add that double layer of foam tape all the way around the back of this panel. I'm going to grab my anti-static powder tool and just put a little around the inside edges of that oval, just so my little glitter pieces won't stick to the sides. So I'm going to be using these glitter iridescent hearts and stars. These are from the Martha Stewart collection, and I've had these in my stash forever. So I just thought I'd grab all of these colors kind of coordinated with what I was doing here. So I just thought I'd grab a little bit of each. I'm going to grab the heart, all the little hearts here, and all these beautiful colors. And remember that when you're making a shaker card, less is more. You don't want to put too much in there. If you do, you'll block that sentiment. So you want to make sure that when those little glittery pieces are down at the bottom, they don't block the sentiment. So you want to use kind of a light hand here, grabbing some of these elements. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that panel on. You want to make sure that sentiment is going to appear in the window there. So just double check that, and then you can go ahead and line these up and attach these two together. And you do want to press really well around that oval just to make sure none of those little pieces of glitter escape there. So now you can see we have the shaker portion of our card. And I just love this. These colors are just so pretty. So now I'm going to use my Marvy jewel picker, and I'm going to pick up a few extras of these little hearts, and I'll glue them right to the front of the acetate. That's just going to bring a little bit of that texture and dimension to the front of the card as well. So I'll go ahead and attach quite a few of these to the front of this acetate, maybe about 5 or 6 of them. So now I've got a standard A2 size top folding card which measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to go ahead and put some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive all around this front panel, and then I can attach these two together. So now we can go ahead and add her to the card, and I'm just going to again use my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive here. And the reason I placed the sentiment over towards the right a little bit is because I want her to overlap the side of this oval just a little bit. So I'm going to push her in towards the center there. And then we'll place that little cupcake in her hand. Now you could certainly pop her up and the cupcake as well, but I thought maybe there was enough dimension with the double thickness to create the shaker card, but you could certainly do that if you wanted to. So we'll let that dry. And let me give you a closer look at this card. I just love all the sparkle we have, and she's just so adorable. So we've got a fun little shaker card that says, "Another year older, you wear it well." So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to visit me at pinkwhisperdesigns.com. As always, thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.